So this is the semifinals.
Yep. Sponsored by Banreservas.
So far, the show's run very smoothly.
Yeah.
Fights have been exciting. You know, this is a great opportunity for the athletes to
No
be on the fight
stretchers
pass.
too. No stretchers. That's always nice.
It's still early. It's still early.
Yeah. Oh, knock on wood.
You know, these guys have been promoting the show since August 3rd of 2018. So, you know, to be going during this time, it's amazing.
Introduce the blue corner.
Ella hizo en la pelea, le jugó en contra ya que se gació mucho porque le sorprendió bastante esa
Promote. Elias Santos, La Mole. He is 1-2 from the DR. Again, this is the semifinals for the lightweight Grand Prix. Now, his record is 1-2 versus an 11-3, but he was the underdog in the very first round, or at least in his last fight, and he came out and shined. And now he gets a great opportunity, but now he's in a sense stepping up in competition. Is he ready for it?
You know, being from the Dominican Republic, your hometown, you know, I remember fighting in Jersey for my first time, and, you know, in front of my crowd, it's a different type of nervousness, but it's also excitement at the same time. So, you know, hopefully he has the home advantage.
You know, the crazy thing was he got the upset. He won his last fight by an armbar, which no one expected, especially his opponent. And again, now he's here today, bumping up in a sense in competition, but he's up in his game. He knew what he was signing up for, and this is his proving ground.
What I think we're going to see for the next few years is the Dominican Republic is definitely going to be stepping up their mixed martial arts game.
And I asked him about the Grand Prix. I go, how do you feel about this thing? He goes, honestly, I'm not thinking too much about it. I'm just going in there to have fun, which I believe is the best mindset possible. To go in there nice, composed, relaxed, just have fun and have a blast doing what you love to do every single day.
One fight at a time. That's what we were always taught. Don't worry about the future ones. Worry about the one in front of you.
Yes, sir.
I got to tell you, these guys do not look like they are in their weight class.
Yeah. Now walking out to the cage, sponsored by Banreservas. Jhonasky La Máquina Sojo, 11-3 from Venezuela. This man is 33 years old, so he is in his prime in his career. And he's ready to, again, advance to the next round to win that lightweight championship. But he has a tough fighter in front of him that even though he might be the underdog, you never know what to expect.
You know, that's still always the scariest thing about the fight game is that a record doesn't dictate who you're fighting.
100%. That's the scariest thing is you could be winning an entire fight, and I don't know, your opponent can close his eyes, throw one strike, and it could be all over. And that's the best thing about MMA is compared to football, you know, you could be, you know, whatever, 49-0, you don't expect in the fourth quarter for them to come back and win the game. But in an MMA fight, one strike can change it all.
I think we're going to have a great show. I mean, everything I'm seeing today from Fighting Force and from, you know, the production itself, they're making it very even.
And with the new commission that's pretty much endorsed and was chosen by the president of the Dominican Republic, which hasn't been done yet for the sport of MMA. It's been done for other sports like wrestling, boxing, but for MMA, it's phenomenal. Fernando Dawajare has been doing some phenomenal things, and even is trying to create their own Apex Center here in the DR. They just finished buying a property, and we actually checked it out. Completely empty, and the opportunity that they have there, especially promoting the DR fighters, running events and shows during this pandemic, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. They want to continue the progression of MMA in the Dominican Republic, and I think that is phenomenal.
The tail of the tape looked pretty even to me. You know, when you look at the stats, you know, the 10 years difference in the age, the height is pretty much similar. The weight,
Fighting Force, edition number 4. And this is the Grand Prix, sponsored by Banco de Reservas de la República Dominicana. Introducing first, the blue corner, with a record of 1 victory and 2 losses, from the Dominican Republic, Elias Santos, La Mole. In the red corner, from Venezuela, with a record of 11 wins and 3 losses. It's a pleasure for me to present La Máquina Sojo, Jhonasky. Referee in charge, Oliver, el veterano Cruz.
Y el tercero imparcial.
Not gonna lie, that scared me.
I tell you what, it's going to be exciting. Mutual respect is going to be it. Let's see what happens here. Mutual respect looks pretty exciting. I can tell you, there's 155. It's pretty big for 155, right?
Yeah, these guys are. Oh wow! Hard leg kick that actually dropped himself. Jhonasky on top. Again, this is where Santos wants to be. His last win was by armbar, and that's 100% what he's trying to go for again. He's already locking up the arm, so the 2 ones he's going to go for more than likely is a triangle or armbar.
And you know, listen, if you're in the fight the first round, you're not slippery, you're not sweaty, so this is the best time to get the submission. This is the best time to really go for it.
We see how he's always trying to lock up that arm, and he's just trying to hold both arms here, trying to hold position, but he does have an open guard, so he's able to swivel his hips back and forth. And Jhonasky staying nice, calm, comfortable, landing his strikes here and there, but that arm keeps him getting caught.
You know, it doesn't seem like he's doing much there, but, you know, back in the day, laying and praying was part of the game. Now people want to see action.
Well, especially now, we see a beautiful overhand right. Again, he's waiting patiently on top. He's going to the body, going to the head, using his head to maintain position.
Right, well, look at this, you know.
Oh,
Went for the arm bar, slipped out, pulled his arm out, side control now.
and we just see the experience level here, where Elias seems comfortable on the ground.
But Sojo also looks very comfortable, and he's not, you know, going super hardcore. He's just looking for the opportunity. I think that shows the skill set.
And it shows the experience level, staying calm, staying composed, even though that might not be exactly your bread and butter. He's in a position where he's still winning this round and being as safe as possible.
As you can see, it's really warm in here. It's starting to sweat. So now you're going to be slipping quite a bit.
We see him inside now, pushing against his face, trying to get his head out.
You got to be careful with the elbows right there. That's you know, don't want to get cut early in the fight. But
The only bad part about Santos on the ground with that head, he's keeping himself down there. He's not trying to change position.
you know, that just shows the experience, I think, at that time. Not getting trapped in a crucifix or something like that. You know, putting the knee in the belly. That's where, you know, so it's trying to go. Oh, look at that Dars.
Yeah. Maybe Jhonasky has some submissions of his own, but he says he's primarily a kickboxing fighter. He wants to keep this fight standing.
I mean,
Beautiful back kick.
they both are moving around. You know, takedowns, position.
Beautiful back take, but we saw immediately Santos went down to the ground, spun, and got half guard because he's comfortable down there compared to standing up with your back taken.
There's really no big damage in this fight so far. Just more position. And I just don't see a submission being an opportunity at this present time. Close guard. 10. Little action. Got about a minute and 30. The feel like it's a really good feeling out process this round.
It's definitely.
Oh,
We see him
armbar.
trying to implement that armbar.
I mean, triangle now, but you know, like I said, that sweat's going to make a huge difference.
Oh, and he transitions to mount. Great patience.
Good pass right there. Elbow push to the punch. Now he's putting the hooks in. Now we got the bag. Look at this. See, this is where I feel like now the fight has changed, because when you start to sweat this much, I don't care what anybody says, it's a different type of wrestling match. And unless you've been in it, you'll never understand it. It's like slip and slide. Now you got to strike, or now you got to go for, you know, heel hooks or something like that. But you got to now. Let's see what happens here.
And a great job by Santos being able to roll, getting out of that position, and going to stand up. And he goes for the head kick with it. I believe he needs to set it up first. And he's going for his own takedown off the fence, and he gets it. Beautiful job.
I got to say, if Santos is 1-2 and this is his future, he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, against an 11-3 guy, he's not doing too bad.
I mean, Dominican Republic versus Venezuela, not trying to make it a country fight, but it definitely is.
Oh, and he's going for his own submission. Maybe a
Don't
10-finger choke.
And, you know, I always tell,
He's cranking it up. He's cranking it up.
Hand control,
he's in a
hand
great
control.
position. He needs to get his opponent's butt against the fence and crank it up. This is one of my favorite chokes. But now he's against
10
the fence.
seconds left. Oh, you know, this is a Tony D'Souza old school move right there, just getting that choke.
He's
The Peruvian
trying.
necktie almost, you know?
Wow, it was a great job to end the round. I don't believe he won it, but that 10-finger choke is a very deadly one. I won my second world championship, my last amateur fight with that, and my pro debut, so I definitely have the experience with it. He was close, but he needs to keep his opponent's butt against the fence and be able to crank straight up.
That beginning was a weird start. I'm not sure if it was a knockdown or a fall, but either way, you could tell he transitioned from the mount to rear hooks. Definitely a good scramble right there. You know, I always say the first person to attack out of the scramble usually wins that position fight.
And we see him going for this 10-finger choke here, and he's trying to crank up, but Sojo just pushing the pace forward so he doesn't get position.
I mean, both these guys are very strong. You know, Sojo's, I mean, I'm looking right now, they're both in the corner. Sojo looks a little bit pumped out, meaning like his muscles look a little jacked up. So, you know, sometimes having that type of muscle on your body is a little tough.
It is. And this is why I eat a lot, you know, so I don't have all that muscle. You know, it's all it's good. That's why I don't do strength conditioning. I don't lift weights, I lift people.
Some people want to look good. I call that our show no go.
Yeah, I try to look good. It never really happens.
This is definitely an interesting fight. I feel like the strategy is going to change. Straight right from Santos. Santos is definitely he's very athletic. He's able to scramble that much power. He's able to get away with things that most people wouldn't be able to get away with.
A little wild striking from both. But we see now that Sojo's comfortable on the ground. He doesn't mind it here because he knew in the first round he was dominant the entire time. It took him a little while to advance position, but overall he was able to do it, be dominant, and win the first round. So he's trying to do it again.
You know, 80 fights, you know, I have a different type of fighting style than most people do. I feel more confident. And, you know, sometimes going against a guy that doesn't really strike what we're accustomed to know as normal is a little scary because it's something you get hit with.
Beautiful elbow.
He's doing a good job being very methodical and you know, using the body head situation there with the attacks, which I find is going to, you know, get him points.
Yeah, it's effective. It might not be significant strikes, but being on top and showing the ref that you're trying to be active, you're trying to pass, but you have Santos hold on to that arm. He's trying to implement something. The only problem is, you know, Sojo's not giving the opportunity to.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you don't need to do something crazy. Right now, if you're trying to advance into a tournament and get to the payday or the win of a tournament, you have to be very smart.
You know, I've heard from really high-level fighters, yeah, cool, you want to have exciting fights, you want to do this, but a win's a win, and no matter what the people say, you might have the belt around your waist because of it.
True that, no doubt. I think it's the job of the ref to maybe see the action. You know, this is where I wish Pride.
Pride rules again.
Yeah, you know, you have the yellow card and the red card. You know, start taking fighters' money purse away. Then
but no soccer kicks. No soccer kicks. Oh, and he's trying to implement that triangle, but he's not setting it up properly. He has the one arm, but he's not transitioning, and he's giving his opponent a lot of space to posture up.
I just don't think putting yourself in a poor position is the best way to go. Of course, you want to go for a submission. It's going to be very difficult.
I mean, you have some fighters. My last opponent was one of those guys that didn't mind pulling guard, being on his back, but he implemented a game, and that was the scary thing, that I always had to be on guard. But for Santos, he's not being active on the bottom. He's not doing anything to Sojo to make him move, to make him panic, and possibly put himself in a submission.
You know, listen, this is where experience, you and I both know was. Sojo is passing the guard. He's putting pressure on his hips, which you can't really talk about or see unless you're doing grappling or jiu-jitsu or wrestling. And what Sojo's doing is he's taking his energy away from Santos.
And he's staying in half guard right now.
Which is great for the ground and pound. You and I both know that you don't
Yeah.
need to pass a guard to beat somebody up. You can do it perfectly just fine in a half guard
You know,
or in the guard.
I train with Dean Thomas, and half guard is his bread and butter. He wants to be here. Hey, if you give me the pass, I'll take it. But honestly, I'd rather just stay here and punch you in the face. Those are literally his words exactly. And he does that to me all the time. It's not fun. Somebody help
Nice
me.
mount, nice mount. Now we're going to see what kind of escape he's going to do. He doesn't really seem like he has much experience escaping this, extending his arms, giving up his back. This is where I talk about the scrambles.
Oh, nice transition there.
He's just very athletic. He's got a lot of
Oh,
force.
he looks like he was trying to go for a triangle there.
I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, if Santos keeps up this pace, I'm not sure if Sojo can keep up with him. And
He's moving.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not being disrespectful. So I just feel like he's pumped up right now, and you're seeing that pump in his physique right now. And to me, Santos just seems like a cat. You know what I mean? You throw him anywhere, he finds a way to land somewhere. And that's a dangerous athlete.
That is a very, very scary one. Again, he is the underdog, only 1-2, but you see the
Look
pace
at the
he's
mount.
going.
He
Now
just
he
got
gets
the
positioned.
mount. Oh.
Wow.
Turn around.
He
Right
tried to
now-
transition to a triangle, but Sojo's moving, man. He's not moving to the best of the best he can, but he's
If I
trying
was
to push.
in Santos' corner right now, I'd be saying go to the body, stop transitioning so much, and stay on top and just give a little bit more pressure. You know, and that's less experience from him, but he's doing a great job today, and he's moving back and forth, and that's entertainment itself.
Yes, it is. Now we have this north-south position. Some things he can be doing with 20 seconds left in the round. He can be going for Kimuras, transition to arm bars, but right
15
now he's
seconds left.
transitioned to the side mount, but he keeps on putting his head back down.
You know, I think right now they're exhausted. They're
They're definitely tired.
Listen, everyone thinks they can do mixed martial arts, and then when they do 1 minute of wrestling, they're like, "Ooh."
Oh, man.
It's a different game. And then when you mix it up with the boxing, the takedowns, everything else, this is a really good fight. I'm happy to be part of this one.
Yeah, it's always fun to see the striker go down to the ground out of nowhere. He's exhausted after 1 minute because it's a whole different game, a whole different muscle group, a whole different conditioning factor. And we see in the replay here, sponsored by Transacciones Damos.
Nice takedown by Sojo. Just good positioning. Good, you know, nothing fancy. Just went straight for the body lock to a takedown. And you can see the scrambles here. You know, there's a lot of power, a lot of force. You know, this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and it was beautiful scrambles, beautiful transitions, but again, Sojo being confident, composed the entire round. But we see his corner immediately, his feet are up. I don't
Jose,
usually
let
see
me-
that much.
I mean, listen, Jose, what would you say right now to either one of these fighters coming out in the next round? Is it a third round and you got to go for the W?
Yeah, you definitely have to go for the W. The rounds are very close, but Sojo's definitely winning. If he does get the safe decision, so be it.
Yeah.
But honestly, for Santos, he needs to push the pace. He needs to go for the haymakers, and he needs to put Sojo on his back to start implementing his game.
I
to
mean,
try to
right
get that
now,
submission.
if I was in either one of these corners, Santos, I would say I have to go for a knockout because Sojo has the experience. He's 11-2, and you know, even though he looks tired, he's not going to quit. He's not going to go out like that.
Yeah. You know, I just been saying Santos striking, it hasn't been.
Oh!
I was about to
Beautiful
say-
uppercut.
I was about to say it wasn't crisp,
Beautiful.
but I was wrong. Oh,
That
God.
was gorgeous. He's got to go for it.
He's throwing Mortal
Oh,
Kombat
look-
uppercuts.
Yeah, but Sojo's looking for that
Oh, my
takedown. He
goodness.
knows that he needs to take this to the ground.
Oh, my
He's got it. Either way, this is going to go some way. We
Oh,
got
I
to figure
take
it out.
my last sentence back. I was going to say, you know, it looks like he doesn't have the power, but that uppercut landed
Did you see
flush.
the sweat come out of?
Oh, man, that was a Mortal
Oh.
Kombat uppercut. He's
He's
pushing the pace, and
ground
now
and
it looks like
pound,
he almost
ground
had
and
him out,
Got to get on top, Santos.
and he's on top. You know, he might be taking advantage of Sojo and his conditioning. He might be tired, but look at him trying to go for that neck, trying to hold position.
I would just be punching him in the face.
And now he solidifies the mount in the 3rd round.
He's got to go for the ground and pound. He's got 4 minutes in this position. So how does he take advantage of the situation?
Wow.
I mean, you know you lost the first. You know you've lost the second. You're in the 3rd round. Now it's time to go for it.
Wow. Talk about underdog. Is he transition? Oh, I thought he was going to transition to the armbar.
He's got to go for it. He's got to get the knockout.
You see how tired Sojo is. Exactly. You called it on the point.
You know,
he's trying to go for that uppercut again.
He knows it needs to work. He's
pushing.
Listen.
Oh!
Beautiful.
Whoa, haymakers all day.
Oh.
He is going.
Oh, great. He's got it. He's going to keep going for it.
Talking about an underdog.
Go
he is
for
going. This man has
Where's
heart.
the knees? Give him the knees.
Oh, Mortal Kombat uppercut. Oh, my goodness.
Great job of both of these athletes, putting on a great performance. Great job for Fighting Force. Great job of matchmaking.
Wow. You're 100% right. All these fights have been close and been decided, some of them on conditioning. But, man, this kid is an underdog. Elias Santos pushing the pace. Big slapping overhand right, misses with the left hook. And they both just assess, look at the situation, and go back at it. Wow.
Honestly, I think if Sojo just stands up and just does a great job of what he's doing striking, he's able to slip and move and counter instead of like just going for the wrestling. Every time you go for a takedown, every time you go for these wrestling matches, you're losing energy.
Wow, beautiful takedown. He's on top, and I know he's exhausted, but immediately advances position, 3/4 mount, now into the full mount. Is he going to implement the ground and pound, or is he going to try to practice submission here?
I just don't understand why you're not elbowing, punching, just using this opportunity in the mount to finish the fight.
You know, it's one of those things where, you know, outside the cage we look at it and we're like, why aren't you doing this? But inside the cage, sometimes you're just so exhausted.
You know, sometimes your training experience explains this. You have to train those hard goes, last minute, kill, die, so to speak, on those bags, training it.
Oh, and he tried to go for a top crucifix. Wasn't able to get it, but he's on top. If he gets this dominant performance, will it be a 10-8 round? Because definitely those other rounds were 10-9. They weren't completely dominant.
Do you want to leave this up to the judges?
Oh, you definitely never do. But and a reverse in position. Wow. Sojo not giving up.
All he has to do is scramble back to his feet and maybe really go for that knockout.
I was saying this is possibly a 10-8 round, but man, with this reversal, being able to stay on top, even if it's not dominant with strikes, that's a change of position. Those are points. And now he's trying to go for a top crucifix. Wow, what a grueling fight. What a grueling war.
Sometimes what people don't understand is that when you apply that pressure from being on top, it is almost like a video game where you lose your energy, you lose your conditioning.
Man.
Nice job with the elbows, very smart.
And those look small, but even those little shots to the body pay dividends.
Yes, he has to keep going. Someone has to come out and go for it. You know, but I believe Sojo's going to do what it takes to get the W here. And you know, I wish I would have seen a little bit better from the referees to stand it back up, but I also understand that they're giving it to the athletes to take the position, which you and I both know you don't want to lose that position.
Yeah, but man, Santos, it looks like he's done mentally, like his gas tank is exhausted.
Yes,
but he's
great
trying.
job. Great job by the refs to stand it up. This could be that moment he's looking for.
Look how long it's taking, though.
Oh,
Such a smart move. Such a smart move. It's a dirty move, but it's so smart. Oh, ref, start the fight.
10 seconds.
Uppercut. I want to see this Mortal Kombat uppercut again.
Just a kick, anything, a knee.
Oh, one more strike, 3 seconds to go.
Oh, he's moving. He's sticking and moving.
Whoa, what an amazing fight between
excellent. Every
Jhonasky, Sojo, and Elias Santos. Wow.
Great fights. Got better every fight as we continued. Great job on both of these athletes.
Elias Santos, the underdog. I wasn't able to see his last fight, but coming back the way he did, I understand why he was able to win and make it to the semifinals. Oh, beautiful overhand right. Please tell me about this replay.
I mean, listen, they're both scrapping. Look at this uppercut that's about to be landed. Boom.
Oh.
Beautiful takedown attempt. Listen, I think if Santos gets himself with a good coaching staff or good team, he can change his game. It's going to be good for him. He's definitely something you're going to want to watch in the future.
Wow, what a war. You know, we're talking about earlier how there is a new commission, how, you know, the promoter here is working directly with the commission, trying to make this the most prestigious promotion in the DR, to now partner with Titan FC, to now partner with UFC Fight Pass, and do more for their citizens here in the DR, and even people outside coming in to give them the most opportunity to shine, and now so soon to make their own Apex Center. I can just imagine how much more talented these fighters are going to get.
Well, I think, you know, when you have any government that stands behind their countries to help, you know, the locals, it's going to be a blessing in disguise.
Wow, what a war.
Great fight. Really exciting.
I'm just happy there was Mortal Kombat uppercuts. That's I was like, so far for me, this is fight of the night. This was a great war. The women fight was amazing, but this, whoa, that underdog spree in the third round. And now taking it up to the final decision.
After 3 rounds, we have an unanimous decision. And the winner is Jhonasky, La Máquina, Sojo!
I believe a great call by the judges, but man, Elias Santos, I have to personally give him a shout out because that underdog spree was amazing. That third round comeback, or close to comeback. I mean, I do believe he possibly won that third, or excuse me, I do believe he won that third round, 10-9, but 2 rounds to 1, man. Jhonasky Sojo advances to the final of this lightweight Grand Prix and gets a chance to win the lightweight championship for Fighting Force Promotions.
Great job by both the athletes. Like I said, you know, they're both going to go back home and look at the fight and learn from it. You know, conditioning was a factor, I think, for both, but they also executed a lot of grappling. And when you do something at that type of skill set, it's very difficult.
And like you were saying, watching, reassessing the film, learning from your mistakes, especially with the conditioning factor, doing more sprints, doing more strength and conditioning, doing what else you need to do to improve that in the next fight so it does not happen again.
Yeah, I think Sojo should have done a better